Rajesh on YouTube commented that he wants to understand burn up chart and burn down chart in detail. And it will be great that if I can make a video for it. So here we go. In this video, we are going to discuss those things. And if there is any topic that you are unable to understand, you can tell me and I'll try my best to make a video on this. So burn up chart and burn down chart. They are mostly used in Agile to see the progress. When the team comes together in daily stand up or in normal co-location, they use burn up, burn down chart to see the progress, where the things are going. Now, these charts can actually use to track velocity. These charts can be used to track risk. These charts can be used to track issue since velocity is the progress. So let's see first burn down chart. Burn down charts are really fascinating chart. They basically tell you how things are moving. They basically tell you have you completed the work according to the agreed time or not. There is no hard and fast rule that you have to have this in x-axis, this is on y-axis. Why I say that there is no hard and fast rule? Because in Agile, we tailored a lot. We modify the approach accordingly. So in this video, I will be focusing more on the concepts and more on the advantages and the disadvantages of burn up, burn down chart. So let's say we are tracking story points, and this shows like story point 0, and this shows that let's say we have 100 story points, 80, 70, 60, 50, 40, and up to 20, 30, and so on. And this shows, let's say, it's a sprint of 7 days. So we can say that day one, day two, day three, day four, day five, day six, day seven. And our ideal chart which the team made was this, that we will complete all the story points till the end of day 7. That's an ideal burn down chart. Instead of story points, you can also have risk that you have in the project. I'll come that in a while, how basically risk are tracked. So we have 100 story points here, user 0 story points means all the story points have been delivered. You can have 10 story points. You can put on x-axis uh, week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4. If it's a release chart, instead of velocity for a sprint, you are tracking velocity for a sprint, or you are tracking it for a roadmap. So you can do it according to that. So let's say on day 1 we actually completed. Now as we are moving down, we need to see how many user stories we have completed on this day. So maybe I can say, if I put it here, let's say here I can say that on day 1 I have completed 20 story points. On day 2 I have completed almost 30 user stories, and so on. So this was basically an ideal case. In actual, if I complete, the team is going very good. And on day 2, instead of 60, we have reached from here to here. So we have reached to the 60 story points. So in this, easily we can see the variance between the planned and actual. Where do we stand? So this is basically a burn down chart showing that our progress was even better than what we actually planned for. But along the way, this is possible, a new user story come. Oh, I mean, a user story come that is very complex, and after this, your progress goes bad as compared to the plan, and somewhere you go good, somewhere you go bad. So all the time burn down chart is giving you variation, what was planned and what is actual, planned versus actual. So you are actually calculating variance on this. Important thing to remember about burn down chart, it gives you the progress in the descending form. As you move down, how much work is remaining, how much work is remaining. And on an ideal scenario, on day 7, we must be able to complete all the user stories. At the end of the day, the variance must be 0. And if the variance is not 0, this means you have made some mistake. Your estimated velocity was not accurate. Your velocity was not right. So this means that you, in the burn down chart, you need to understand that how you are moving along the way. So if I make a burn down chart for risk, let's say right now we have risk severity and we have put the risk number according to burn down chart. All these risks are this, and what actually we want in the risk burn down chart. The best case scenario would be that on the day 1 or on the first iteration, all the risk goes down to 0. If we are moving down and our risk graph is moving like this means we are not working properly. And the worst case would be if the risk is moving like this. This means as time passes, we are still, risk remains this. And if the question comes how you can have this type of graph, you can have this type of graph when you have not prioritized your user stories as high value, high risk. You have only prioritized at high value, low risk. So you are giving value, but you are not tackling the risk. If you are tackling high value, high risk, the risk graph would be like this one, like the ideal graph. As you move down, the risk will move down. So this is the idea about risk burn down graph. So we discussed burn down graph according to a story point, velocity according to the risk. Now let's see burn up chart. Similarly, like burn down chart, we have a burn up chart to show the productivity, to show how basically productivity moves. Okay, so we have, oh, so here, as we move, we add the progress. Simple charts that we actually use in our day-to-day is basically burn-up chart. So as we are moving, we are adding story points and the progress is basically adding. Now the burn-up chart has a special advantage as compared to the burn-down chart. If a scope is added, if a scope is added, or if scope is user stories are added or user stories are removed, you can actually show it by the burn up chart. Like if the scope is going here and suddenly you have user stories like this, it is going up and here going down. If this type graph, if you have this type curve on your burn up chart, this is basically showing you the scope has been added, the scope has been removed for a burn up chart. A very important thing that we should know about burn up chart, we can actually make cumulative flow diagram from the burn up chart. What is cumulative flow diagram? Cumulative flow diagram is actually used from burn up chart and from the Kanban board that actually shows us what are our bottlenecks. What are our bottlenecks, which area, if we have this as a burn up chart showing all the areas, the thinnest area will be your bottleneck. So that is more of a burn up chart converted into cumulative flow diagram. I hope this clarifies some of the concepts of burn up chart, burn down chart, and cumulative flow diagram and how they are different. Let me just summarize again. Both burn up chart, burn down charts are used to track the progress. Burn down charts basically show total work and the remaining work as you move down. You have mostly we use risk, we track risk by risk burn down charts in an agile environment. Then we have burn up charts, which shows as you move you add into the progress, the ascending chart. You can also see if the user stories of the scope has been added in the burn up chart, which you cannot see in the burn down chart. And you can also convert burn up chart into a more specialized chart, cumulative flow diagram, to see the bottlenecks of the process. I hope it has been helpful for you, and this concept can be useful for clearing your PMP and PMI SCP exam.